The following news flash is brought to you by the Lone Star Lowdown, providing your daily bulletins for the commodities market. Today in history, news updates, and the inside scoop into the tides of the alternative. Markets for Wednesday, the 17th of February, 2016 are currently trading with gold at $1,207.60 an ounce, silver $15.29 an ounce, Texas crude $29.04 a barrel, and Bitcoin is currently sitting at about 419 U.S. currency. Today in history, the year 1776, the first volume of Edward Gibbon's Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire is published. The whole series traces the trajectory of Western civilization as well as the Islamic and Mongolian conquest from the height of the Roman Empire to the fall of the Eastern Byzantium. It was published in 6 volumes, and Volume 1 was hot off the presses today in history. In recent news, University of Texas in Austin President Greg Fenves submitted rules to comply with the state's new campus carry law today. Guns will be allowed in classrooms at the University of Texas in Austin in accordance with open carry legislation. However, apparently not in the dorms, except for a few exceptions. They would be allowed in common areas. Family members visiting the dorms would be allowed to carry them, and staff members who work in the dorms would also be allowed to have them. However, Attorney General Ken Paxton has argued that guns should be allowed in student housing as well. Campus carry has been one of the most controversial issues in this last year at colleges across the state. Opposition has been especially strong at UT Austin, where the Faculty Council passed numerous resolutions against allowing guns in the classrooms. Fenves' rules are likely to be challenged by both sides, and UT System Chancellor William H. McRaven predicted earlier this year that his school will be sued by people who think the guidelines are too strict or too lenient. The law goes into effect August 1st. According to federal prosecutors, investigators have so far discovered firearms, explosives, and trenches dug near an area containing tribal artifacts at the Oregon Wildlife Preserve, occupied by Citizens for Constitutional Freedom for nearly 6 weeks. FBI did not describe the types of firearms or explosives or say what led the investigators to think vehicles on the premises may have been booby-trapped. However, they provided this information in response to a motion from the defense lawyers who wanted immediate access to the site. Apparently, defense teams must be escorted by FBI personnel and mustn't disturb or remove any items, while all the evidence seized by the FBI will be available for inspection at the agency's field office in Portland. Defense lawyers, however, are challenging that arrangement, and a judge is expected to hear arguments on the matter next week. Attorneys for jailed Eamon Bundy said that they were concerned about the damages to the site that may have been done by the occupiers after he and other leaders were arrested. This was your lowdown for February 17th, 2016.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war. I'll be very blunt in my assessment.
Is that we just have to be repetitive about this. It's not enough to simply have a catchy ad on a Monday and then only do it every Monday. We need to do this every day of the week and just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
True. Radio.
We're live, ladies and gentlemen. Truth Exposed Radio here on the Logos Radio Network. Such a lovely day.
This February 17th.
Beautiful, beautiful day. Living live.
Definitely live here every Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m.
Lines are open, as typical, as usual. 512-646-1984. Feel free to call in.
Yes, sir. And people been sleeping out there. They sleeping, man.
On the wheel, right?
We got a giveaway out there going on, man. A nice drawing for some really cool prizes, man. Y'all sleep out there? Y'all know what there is to win?
No, I'm considering myself, just throwing some money in the pot and getting some of my friends and family on it. We can win first and second prize ourselves.
It's going down. Y'all are sleeping, man.
We do have a drawing though, right? I mean, Logos is holding a drawing.
It's an awesome drawing
that has been going on for some time now. And, everyone knows when you got the FCC on your back, when you have bills to pay, when you have everything going, shows going, blaring 24/7.
And believe me, when you're spitting truth, the FCC is on your back.
Big time.
Without a doubt. And hopefully a fan base, right? I mean, we do get callers and do get listeners and do appreciate the fans that do listen and do support and do, share the radio station. But unfortunately, there does come a time every now and then when bills are due. And, bringing that up is crucial, really, to the fact that, we gotta keep the transmission going, guys. And it is a mutual aid here situation where, there's plenty of prizes to win.
And, you know, let's
not to mention the guaranteed My Magic Mud if you just get into the drawing. So
yeah, so it only takes $25 to get in. You're automatically getting My Magic Mud. So the first, I forget how many donators.
And if you're consistent with using My Magic Mud, if you keep using it and you use it every night, and then every other night, yeah, your teeth start getting white.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
It lasts a long time. That $25 that stuff lasts a long time too.
Story for everyone to hear about how we're not gonna give in to the fear. Yeah, it's a story. I will lie by my father's house till he returns. I will lie by my father's house. He has left me with the strength and wisdom. I will aid with my concern. Says, they come to take his place. I will occupy my house.
Like a thief in the night, I saw the father enter. Chase all the parasite from around her. Thief, liar, and evil murderer. Chase them out the house because them cannot enter. Pure in heart and clean hands only. Only them could enter in God's house, you see. Save your soul, surrender quickly. That's what you're doing now, we have the house, you see.
I will occupy my father's house. I won't allow the wicked. Sleeping still and true. My soul along with it. There are those in this world who would harm us. They will not prevail. Cause when I occupy my father's house, there's more wind into his head. I will occupy my father's house.
Love alone, we do it and I do it properly. My father don't want no murderer with me. Thou shalt not kill man, he don't tell me. Occupy the house and you do it properly. Only pure heart cleans and ordinary. Just like a thief in the night he enter. No wicked man, no killer man couldn't round ya. Could I never see it from you.
I will occupy my father's house till it becomes clear that he has come to take control. I know that's why it put me. All investment will be in good faith and in good time. I will protect his remnant. Will not let it fall to petty crime.
When you reach here, man, you must be proper. And you have to talk, me say talk proper. Have a love, peaceful heart to Rasta. So you are gonna see the face of the father. No wicked man, me say coulda enter. Couldn't jump through the back door and enter. Coulda never even climb through the window. Have to come through the front of the father.
I will occupy my father's house till he comes to take his throne. The time will be of his choosing, will not be of my own. Till he returns. And if it take my speech, I will make sure that my song and prayer will burn. I will occupy my father's house. I will occupy.
Sit down, sir. If you're not proper, say you can't enter. You know, see the father house, it's easier. Peace and love, me say any father. Holy Ghost or something, say in my father's house, me say so many mansion. And everybody know me say one mansion. When the father come, me say when he come down. Thanks and praise. When the father come, but the thief in the night, me say when he enter. In the house, me say when he sits up. In the king for the house round ya. No killer man, no murderer, and neither liar. No parasite, for all could that enter. All of your money couldn't help you enter. All of your gold, me say I'm your silver. None of that Lord, me say will I matter. In my father house, is pay your love around ya. Get on, yeah, the father. So that your life may be longer. I wanna these days you see the face of the father.
And we're back. This is Truth Exposed.
It's lovely February 17th.
That's right. That's right.
Had a little CPS malfunction.
No problem.
But it happens. We're back at it. So much to talk about. So much in this last week, hasn't there been, guys?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I mean, the news is
going downhill with events.
I mean, we got the encryption debacle going on, the fight happening with Apple.
Yeah.
Definitely going to might lead to some legislation down the pipes here in a little bit.
Mm-hmm. You got all the talk about Scalia, of course.
Right. Unfortunately, condolences out to his family and everyone that for that loss.
There's still more stuff going on with the Bundys.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Oregon holdout, the wildlife refuge. Yeah, definitely.
Clive and Bundy.
So I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot going on. There always is.
We got Mr. Francis himself, the little horn traveling up in Mexico.
Poppy.
The Poppy meeting up with the Orthodox, one of the Orthodox leaders in Cuba.
You sure you didn't go to Juarez to meet with cartels?
Maybe.
I think the Knights Templar, the cartel, the Knights Templar, I think they were...
They're running them, huh?
Had a ceasefire or something like that. I know they did when Benedict went down to Mexico. So that was definitely interesting. It would be interesting to see if there was a ceasefire, another one, with this more recent visit by the pontiff.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Wouldn't doubt it either. And definitely check out logosradionetwork.com, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a drawing. Extended drawing, Logos 2016 gun giveaway drawing.
$25 to enter.
Thank you, Central Texas Gunworks, for this really cool lower receiver, Spike Skull.
Extremely, very cool, very detailed lower receiver with a 3D skull, right exactly where the magwell is, and it's a.
I liken it to a Spawn.
Spawn and the Punisher, had a kid and this weapon. They designed a weapon together.
I mean, awesome doesn't describe it. I mean, it is bad.
Then you got that second prize Taurus Curve, that sleek, nice pistol made by Taurus with a built-in flashlight, the built-in
laser,
red dot laser, and every $25 donation gets you a chance to win either of these prizes.
Yeah, definitely a cool little prize at Taurus for open carry on campus now coming in here pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
For you UT students.
And then, of course, the third prize, of course, is a vape kit from All About Vapor.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, you can get pretty much any fix you want off those vape kits. I mean, medicinal stuff. They got a bunch of different herbs for different kind of coughs, headaches.
The essential oils.
All that stuff. You got nicotine and tobaccos or essentially nicotines, I guess. Yeah. That can be vaporized. So many options and way healthier if you get a good vape. Compared to the old carcinogenic burn and ash approach to things.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
And for every $25 that you decide to give in, definitely help out the transmission of these great radio shows for the next year. For every $25 gives you
My Magic Mud.
Yeah, definitely check that out. Use it every night, and
it's detoxifying. Not only does it clean your teeth, but it helps detoxify. Like a lot of people like to do who are into the detoxifying, do oil pulling, and it just takes too long swishing around coconut oil for 30 minutes in your mouth or 15 minutes. I mean, it's crazy. It's a lot easier just to brush
3 to 5 minutes.
Brushing your teeth with this,
Yeah, totally. About something about that carbon, right? Really absorbs all the.
I mean, you can even swallow it. I mean, it's just. I mean, they use it to when people have like alcohol poisoning or whatever. They charcoal down their stomach. It removes a lot of stuff. It's pretty good.
Definitely, and of course. I mean, not only are you put into this great drawing to be able to win one of these great prizes, but you keep the great lineup of shows constantly blaring. Thomas Kiley, World Report. Of course, you guys know the flagship of Logos Radio Network, Rule of Law.
Yes, sir.
Got Agenda 21, the Vaccine Show, Truth News Radio, Truth Exposed Radio, the Crypto Show right after us, and
Brave New Radio.
Yeah, every Saturday. So definitely great lineup of shows, guys. Great team to be a part of. We do appreciate you guys supporting and listening in, and we're coming on to a break, so stay tuned. We're gonna
You are listening to the Logos Radio Network. LogosRadioNetwork.com.
Hello, mate. All right? Yeah, I'm all right.
For watching my love of God's something to say. I want to say it now, but now it's today. And love has been given to grab and enjoy. So let's all grab and let's all enjoy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Exposed Radio here on the Logos Radio Network. I'm one of your co-hosts here, Marshall Soul.
Cuddy Rowe.
Rick Rohde.
and we're going to go ahead and jump into some highlights of this news going on. Apple, of course, is slamming the order to hack the killers from the San Bernardino attack. The encryption is taking place. Encryption debate is going on where the feds want the data, but of course, Apple is slamming that order.
And what are they saying? They're making the argument about the phone lock. Like, oh, the phone's locked. We need to be able to just have like some backdoor or whatever to get into it.
Yeah. I mean, this is here from The Intercept. If you guys recall the San Bernardino shootings with those government employees who had pledged allegiance to ISIS, who then shot up a Christmas party. Those guys. Apparently, their phones, one of the phones, FBI is having trouble cracking it, decrypting it, if you will, because Apple does have this feature where you can encrypt your data, and someone needs a padlock, right? Someone needs a special key or padlock or password or whatever to get into the phone. So it's interesting that the FBI here is claiming that they can't get into the phone.
I smell BS from miles and miles and miles away.
Don't they have all the
I know someone on the block
at their disposal
right now? I know someone in the hood right now, in the hood.
And I think
that can decrypt
they probably want legislation to be passed in order for them to the federal government to utilize certain aspects where they don't need a warrant.
Yeah, that may be the case. Let's read a little bit of this Intercept article here. This has to do primarily with Apple rejecting the court order or the FBI ordering to decrypt their phone, basically. Apple CEO Tim Cook's open letter defying a court order to hack into an iPhone and asking for an open discussion about data privacy has dramatized and widened the debate over encryption as never before. In a pointed message to our customers, Cook said that the government's request to circumvent a security protection mechanism on an iPhone could undermine decades of security advancements that protect our customers. The CEO's letter set off a firestorm of commentary and reporting as soon as it went online early this morning. Cook was responding to an order handed down by federal magistrates, a judge in California in particular, Tuesday that compelled Apple to help the government break into an iPhone belonging to Saeed Rizwan Farouk. Don't even want to say his name really, but this government unionized jerk that decided to shoot up a place, who along with his wife, Tashin Malik, killed 14 people in San Bernardino, California. Okay, we know that in December, right? Judge Shiri Paim, I don't know how you pronounce that. That also looks kind of Arabic. Interesting. Pine? I don't know.
Yeah. P-Y-M?
Did not order Apple to break the encryption on the iPhone. Instead, she asked the company to develop a new version of the iPhone's operating system, iOS, that would allow the FBI to use its computer to guess the passcode more quickly and efficiently without getting locked out for making too many guesses. This approach, sometimes referred to as a brute force attack, circumvents iPhone's encryption without actually breaking it. The judge apparently gave Apple 5 days to respond, but Cook issued his letter to customers within hours of the judge's order, clearly establishing Apple's position in the case. Very interesting. I mean, we're starting to see almost, if you will. I mean, again, don't misconstrue, listeners, but we're not here to defend the crony elite or anything. I'm sure Apple may get some governmental benefits, especially in the area of patents and whatnot. But other than that, I know that they refuse to pay a whole bunch of taxes, and now with them. Defying the CEO, defying the FBI's orders to, offer backdoor ways to get into encrypted phones, really shows almost like a corporate rebellion against the powers that be.
Interesting coming from, a company such as Apple. I mean, it really is. I mean, I always look at them, as evil. You know what I mean? I mean,
almost equal to Google or something.
Yeah, right up there with them. Exactly.
The tree of knowledge.
Yep.
The symbolism.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you want to get into all that too, I mean, definitely. But
and not that we back up everything right about the corporate power structure. Again, patents would be a big issue, probably our biggest issue with Apple. I don't know if they get too many subsidies. Definitely getting a lot of tax breaks because they ain't paying them.
Yeah.
Apparently, they haven't paid a couple $100 million, if not a billion or so in taxes.
And really, we're not saying that they should be taxed.
No,
we're just saying
not.
that none of us should, and it's just unfair, completely.
Yeah, and I'm bringing that up because it really goes to show that the motives behind fighting the establishment or the governmental system, the power structures of the government, are really there, embedded into the Apple's CEO hierarchy, like the little mini hierarchy they got. And of course, it's not enforced. I mean, so long as they're not getting subsidies or anything of the sort. But anyhow, it's really cool, right? It's almost like Reardon Steele and Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. It's like the corporate producers, the corporate CEOs rebelling against the government bureaucrats.
Eventually, they got to realize though that you're going to get burned by the system that you're supporting. You don't work for Satan and nothing bad happens to you. You don't work for evil and expect you're just going to get a free pass and everything is going to be it's going to come down on you too. I mean, they don't want to, eventually, you know, you come to a point where you're supporting your own demise, and they're just like, well, you know, maybe I don't like that, you know? I mean, so, you know, especially corporations, they like business people, they see that there is the government, and so they've got to do what they can to, you know, or they use what they can. The government as tools, you know.
Well, that is true.
Anything they can.
That is true, but it is interesting that we're reaching a point now where consumer demand is in direct defiance to government edict. Government edict would like all
what is this, checks and balances?
Privacy to be open to them
from the market,
to them alone, and consumer demand really demands more high tech, more strenuous forms of encryption to keep people's personal data safe, obviously. And it seems like the market is going with the consumer rather than going with the regulator.
Yeah. Now, if we could just take that to its full extent,
right.
I mean, that's what a lot of people don't see. They think that the checks and balances are using government to check and balance, you know.
No, usually it's the market.
The Bernie Sanders approach.
Yeah, the sandbag approach.
The market will always regulate. The people that make the purchases will choose what they purchase and what they choose not to purchase, and that's what will regulate. As long as they're, you know, they're informed and to make a decision on what they purchase. Of course.
Yeah. Or you find out by, you know, purchasing some garbage and you get burned.
If I purchase some bad oranges from Richard, I ain't going to buy from Richard no more.
Yeah. So see, it definitely seems that Apple doesn't want to let down their consumer base by, you know, caving in to this back door that this judge in California ordered Apple to create, because doing so would be a direct detriment to their revenue, their profit revenue. And so here we have a classic example, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, of what we would consider natural and spontaneous profit versus governmental, you know, institutionalized coercive regulation. It's more clearly seen here because the producer is defying the bureaucrats' orders. The producer is defying the state regulators, and thus, you know, it makes it more clear as to who's who.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems like such a joke. Like the government can't already do this already.
Yeah, right. I'm sure they can.
Yeah.
I'm sure they can. Now, granted, this is, you know, just personal, you know, kind of interjection here.
Yeah.
But, you know, I personally knew some guy that high up in credentials or whatever, and as far as professor and had some nursing and doctorate, whatever credentials, and his son worked for the police department of San Antonio, or and that's about as specific as I want to get with it. But nonetheless, you know, he told me that they could pretty much crack and get anything from your phone with lickety split with the powers that are already granted unto the police. And
so it's weird. What more? It's like they don't already. I thought they already had this power. What are they?
With the Stingray technology, you know, where they can.
They illegally tap and survey people's phones all the time.
Right. They get the data that the phone send to their wireless, to their providers. Right?
And you know what? A lot of times they use it to bust people. People don't even know it's been used against them, so they don't even know to use that in a court of law to fight. And it's just people get got all the time by that.
And this really does explain as to why the judge may have ordered a back door to their whole encryption versus you know.
They want expedience.
Yeah, they want expedience for all phones.
I believe the judge is asking for their response on whether or not they will do so.
Well, we're coming on break. We're going to keep breaking that down. We're going to move on to different news of the day, so definitely stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't touch that dial. Seriously, it may be rigged to scan your hand. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, back to tell you how a children's media corporation is developing some scary sci-fi next.
Privacy is under attack. When you give up data about yourself, you'll never get it back again. And once your privacy is gone, you'll find your freedoms will start to vanish too. So protect your rights, say no to surveillance, and keep your information to yourself. Privacy, it's worth hanging on to. This message is brought to you by StartPage.com, the private search engine alternative to Google, Yahoo, and Bing. Start over with StartPage.
Bet you didn't know Disney had a research arm. Well, they do, and what they're developing is not child's play. How about doorknobs that recognize your touch, or phones that go silent when you wave your hand, or chairs that dim the lights when you lean back? Those are just some of the smart objects being built by Disney Research, where things around you will be aware, ever watching and anticipating your desires in an interactive, brave new world. But do we really want our furniture watching us? Once this stuff is linked to the internet, pretty soon the walls and even the doors will talk. Hey, let's lock the door on that idea. Throw away the key. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartPage.com, the world's most private search engine.
Looking for some truth? You found it. LogosRadioNetwork.com.
And we are back live. This is Truth Exposed. We do thank you for tuning in. We are live here every Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. 6 to 8 p.m., not 6 to 8 p.m. Rat-a-tat-tat, what's going on, man? This is one of your hosts, Cuddy Rowe.
Marshall Soul.
Rick Rody.
And
breaking down.
We were just breaking down the Apple thing we were discussing, during the break right now, trying to get some theories going. And it reminded me of a story, a friend of mine had told me about how he had magically got pulled over by a helicopter and the police has swooped up on him. And he may or might not have been participating in some
black market, gray market activity.
Yeah, definitely. And when he finally went to court, he told his lawyer that I know for sure, there's no informants. I know it's my phone. I know they've got my phone tapped. And the lawyer said they can't do that. It's illegal. And I said, no, I know they did it. I've got, basically the lawyer, realized, he went to the prosecutor, told him, we know you've got this information illegally. And so what they did was
So what else did your friend tell you?
They basically plea bargained with him instead of, if he didn't know this, if he had never brought it up, he would have gotten nailed to the wall. But
interesting.
He brought it up and then they plea bargained, and he basically got let go with a slap on the wrist. But yeah, helicopters.
Because they couldn't unlawfully use that. They couldn't use that information they obtained unlawfully.
Yes, exactly.
Something that I was wrapping up really last segment was, the contact that I had basically had somebody within the police agency, and they basically have access to 4 copies of everything that we send out and everything we receive on our phones. I mean, there's the copy on the actual phone itself that's transmitting or receiving. Then there's a copy of the transmission to your provider, your broadband, your 3G, 4G provider. Then there's the message to the receiver
or their provider.
Just remember this: if you're partaking in some black market,
there you go. Yeah, if it's a different, there you go. That's a good point there, Marshall. If it's not the same provider, it's
like
not the same company.
I got Sprint and you got T-Mobile or whatever, and I'm calling you, so that's another party
jump
in the exchange.
That's another jump. That would be 5 different recordings of the same message. So there's plenty of ways for police forces and FBI and investigators to get into this, especially when you consider the legislation that was passed right after 9/11, September 11th, and as a result of it, everything from, we all know the
Non-Patriot Act.
Yeah, the Non-Patriot Act and the Military Commission Act and the powers that were granted unto the NSA as a result of September 11th and their spying abilities.
One of the things that's coming to mind too is the fact that those iPhones, they're what is it called when they hack into them and they take them off the grid or whatever, they jailbreak them, and then they can't be tracked and traced. I wonder if there's something up with that too. I mean, that there's just so many implications to this. It's crazy.
There really is. So let's wrap up this article here real quick. The judge gave Apple, this is what we talked about here last time, 5 days to respond, but Cook issued a letter to his customers within hours. And he said that the United States government has demanded that Apple take an unprecedented step which threatens the security of our customers. We oppose this order, which has implications far beyond the legal case at hand, he wrote. Wow, very, very thick insight by this guy. Some would argue that building a backdoor for just one iPhone is a simple, clean-cut solution, he added, but it ignores both the basics and the digital security and the significance of what the government is demanding in the case.
Yeah, once you have one backdoor for one iPhone, don't you have a backdoor for all iPhones?
Pretty much. And that's exactly what the judge ordered. She didn't order a cracking and a decryption of this one particular phone. She ordered a permanent backdoor for all iPhone operating systems.
Why don't they just give that phone to iPhone and say, hey, break this for us, open it up, and then give us the information that you get out of it?
Right.
It's 1984.
That pertains to the case.
Exactly. Whatever the judge's order pertains to.
Yeah. That's very true.
Why don't they just handle it like that? That would be the rational way to do it.
The more amendment.
Well, that'd be the lawful way to go about it.
The right procedure, the legal procedure, right?
My legalities.
We got to do the dance,
Well, you got to be tried before your peers, and you got to have evidence brought before you. Can't be any doubt.
Well, you used to.
It's 1984 times 100 million.
So here, continue on the Intercept. No, but totally, it is like 1984 to the T over here. Beyond
They're trying to
Apple's-
multiply it. They're making it bigger.
Oh yeah. Beyond Apple's big picture objections, it is not entirely clear whether the company can actually do what the judges asked: design a software update that would first stop the phone from erasing its data after 10 failed password attempts, then allow the FBI to input passwords electronically and rapidly rather than by hand.
That sounds like such a joke. Like when you're technically inclined, you don't even use that password, man. You like hook it up to a computer and like do some kind of like
right.
trickery.
This almost sounds like some,
You're talking to
some private
kindergarten.
email server, State Department type of stuff here. I wonder if there's any connection here between.
they want to crack their fellow employees and workers' phones to see what's going on.
You might incriminate an employer, perhaps.
Yeah, you could blackmail everybody.
You might incriminate an employer,
the whole government.
They already got that information, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
What'd they find on Scalia's phone?
Right.
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
That's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
So the government likely obviously benefits from the fact that it's trying to break, this is again the article from the Intercept here, trying to break into an older iPhone model, the 5C, according to several computer security experts. The 5C, introduced in September 2013, limits password guesses primarily via the operating system. Later iPhone models limited guesses via a miniature onboard computer known as a security enclave, which apparently introduces delays of up to an hour after repeating guessing. The 5C model iPhone lacks the single most important security feature produced by Apple, that's the security enclave, wrote Dan Guido, CEO of the computer security outfit Trial of Bits, in a blog post. Since the iPhone, this is what his quotes are, since the iPhone 5C lacks a secure enclave, nearly all the passcode protections are implemented in software by the iOS operating system and therefore replaceable by a firmware update. That's a little bit over my head here, but
yeah, mine too. Crypto show.
Where you at?
Where you at?
No, but it definitely seems like it definitely seems like this one had higher levels of encryption than the later models. Interesting. This may be an issue here then. And that's always changing too. I mean, models are changing as regulation changes. We wonder why there's always constant models of things coming out. A factor in that may very well be the constant regulation of old models. You have to come out with a new one to fit the regulation. You can't produce this old
or for a loophole.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's
I mean, obviously, it's not every cause. I mean, there is just the need to come out with a new line every year.
Yeah, or to re-innovate. I mean, you've got to compete sometimes. I mean, sometimes there's other people taking your ideas and then adding to them, and then maybe you got to take those and then add. That's how we progress.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, although the government's request asked Apple to help bypass security on one device, the company is alarmed by the precedent and its compliance that this would set, fearing it could be asked for further such assistance down the line. In the future, if law enforcement is going to arrest somebody, what they could do is force the user to update their phone to the security weakened version of iOS Apple that has been asked to create for the San Bernardino case, said Amy Stepanovich of U.S. Policy Manager of Access Now.
Stepanovich.
A group that advocates for digital rights. That's a cool group right there, Access Now, digital rights. The government could be setting up the precedent to force Apple or other companies to continually hack their own users, right? Their own users' database. She said they're basically compelling speech. She continued referring to the demand to produce code that enables malicious attacks. It's a slippery slope. They could compel other companies to build code in order to facilitate other intrusions, other forms of intrusion. So this can be for future, corporate hacking. I mean, we wonder why everybody from the Air Force to your local ice cream shop is losing credit card information and personal data of people. I mean, this can bring issues into that, even further loss of personal data and issues if you create these.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Truth Exposed Radio here, picking it back up on the other end here. One of your co-hosts here, Marshall Solon, my boys.
Cut it, Rick
Rody.
And let's wrap up this here.
This apple. Let's take a bite out of this apple.
Let's finish eating this apple here.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here right in this article, which is really interesting.
Yeah, the precedents being set are going to be mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah. Mind intrusively blowing, man. Breaking down.
There's extra cyanide in this apple.
So Nate Cardazzo, a staff attorney of the Electronic Frontier Foundation, has said that a government victory over Apple in the San Bernardino case could have implications for other companies, including Open Whisper Systems, which under co-founder Moxie Marlin Spike released a popular encrypted calling app known as Signal. Quote, if the FBI's argument against Apple succeeds, Cardozo recently tweeted that nothing prevents them from ordering Moxie to backdoor their Signal, right?
Yeah. I mean,
so pretty much all that info and data they've already been collecting on you will be justifiable in court. When they want to set somebody up or catch them beforehand.
Yeah, well, and this really, I mean, of course, right? But I mean, this really sets a precedent for all. I mean, encryption is out the window if this Apple case goes through.
That's what they're trying to fight. Is I can see they're going to try to make it illegal to encrypt anything. They're going to say, oh, you already know how they want. They wanted information. They want all your. What do you got to hide? They're going to use that. What do you got to hide if you're not doing anything wrong? Garbage. I mean, they've been doing this for a while, and
yeah, we can't read their emails, can we?
Hillary Clinton server and
blah,
blah, blah.
We can't read their personal memos, can we? No, we can't find out. We can't see their footage. The footage of the.
Yeah. How many classified files are there still out there in the archives that won't be declassified until 2075, or they keep pushing the Kennedy information back and back and back? And
what's good for the goose? What's good for the goose? Yeah. And what again? They're like, nah.
What do you have to hide? Apparently, plenty if you're over there, blacklisting things.
Yeah. Yeah, and shout out to the Electronic Frontier Foundation, helping us down here in San Antonio fight the RFID chip of the kids and everything.
They were out there helping us when we were fighting over there at John Jay High School. They had the RFID lanyards going around, and Andrea Hernandez, I believe, she was out there fighting it. Hernandez family was out there fighting it.
Yep.
And eventually they buckled. They didn't buckle all the way, but buckled just enough to lit up off.
The school, they're not chipping the kids anymore. I mean that pilot system is ended, and
It'll get moved on.
Oh, well, they're going to try to bring it back. I mean, come on.
That's an initiative where they try to get RFID tags on all the students, basically, in the school district.
The only reason
a lot of parents, a lot of local community groups, and
we'll discount their lunch if they wear the mark.
And it just goes to show it just only takes a tireless minority to push these people back. There was very few of us standing against this thing, and it was just enough.
But just a few people out there showing their beliefs, and it allows others that were scared to come out and speak for themselves. Yep. And they're like, hey, look, there's these other people. There's a little girl over there standing up for what she believes and not bowing down to these people.
What kind of man are you?
What kind of person are you?
Well, and everyone's really, a lot of people have brought up this point that they're going to sell the police state to us by the means of the helicopter parent, the parent that needs to be there watching their kid.
Literal
protecting their kid at every corner, at every step.
You'll learn to love your servitude.
They're going to sell the total
security,
information,
safety,
right, as a means to protect your child.
Blanket.
Yeah, as a means to to locate your child in case they get kidnapped, in case they get lost, in case they run away.
Over there in London, they're already pushing to have TVs that were watching the families, where the government could tune in and watch the families.
George Orwell, boy.
Well, yeah, but you get it through. You justify it through the. I mean, also bringing up is that you justify it through parenting, essentially, right? Parents want to have access to their kids' phones, right? So if parents have access to their kids' phones, well, the government has to have access to the parents'
Well, they
phones.
should just create, phones for kids, for parents. You know what I mean? And solve the problem.
Well, just don't buy your kid a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that one? Right?
No, but I mean, if you do, have a back door for yourself.
A flip phone. Here you go. Take your flip phone.
Back in my day, I had a pager.
But
I mean, they're gonna
Motorola flip phone. That's what we had.
You can't stop freedom, man. So you got to look at it like the kid's gonna get a cell phone from somebody. So you might as well just give them one and have make a parent free, a parent not free, but a parent,
You're gonna go NSA on your kid?
Friendly,
parent friendly, a cell phone for kids, or
whatever.
Where
they get a copy of everything, or they get a transcript.
That way, when your kids, because there's I mean, at a certain age, I mean, come on, until they grow up, I mean.
Yeah, until they can afford their own phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah. Definitely. So here, finishing up this article, critics have also taken aim at the legal avenue through which the government is trying to compel Apple's cooperation to get its way. The government is leveraging the All Writs Act, a federal statute that allows it to require Apple to take extra steps to help fulfill an earlier lawful request. In this case, the warrant to search the iPhone. The government turned to the act after the FBI spent 2 months trying to figure out a way into the phone and was unable to find one. Yeah, I'm sure. The Act's lineage traces back to the Judiciary Act of 1789, which through it has been updated numerous times since it was introduced. The court is ordering Apple to create a backdoor into the iPhone's operating system, citing a law adopted in 1789, said Greg Nogium, director of the Freedom, Security, and Technology Project at the Center for Democracy and Technology, in a statement. Quote, if the order stands, the defective operating system could be installed over an existing version of an iOS, enabling law enforcement officials to guess the password on a cell phone. If the order stands, Apple and other technology companies could be ordered to build backdoors, essentially defects, into other devices, rendering them insecure and vulnerable to attack by law enforcement and by others as well. And we will fight against this as a result.
What does that say about droids? Did they already have like a way into droids?
There's more holes in them. There's more gaps, I guess. A lot of people,
unless you take the steps,
a lot of what I've heard is a lot of drug dealers like those Apple phones because when they do jailbreak them, they're, it's really hard.
They're empty.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, it's really hard to get in them. With droids and everything else, there's all these back doors and all this stuff. So even think about the Apple the computers wise. I mean, you got to have all this malware and stuff for
right.
PCs.
Apples have always been harder to put any kind of viruses or spamware or malware onto or to hack essentially.
I mean, I don't know for a fact, but I always looked at it like it was some kind of relationship they had with government or whatever. Like, okay, we're gonna make sure these people get messed with their.
Well, droids are Windows based. I mean, there are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
essentially, they are.
It's like a PC. Yeah.
Bill Gates over here.
Yeah.
Mr. Cook over here, Mr. Gates,
Mosquito Man,
Mr. Gates. Which one do you trust? I don't know.
Yeah, those guys are out of there.
So here, article basically wraps up by saying that other authoritarian governments, as well as clever criminal hackers, could also take advantage of any malware developed by Apple to exploit its own products. This is other governments here, right? Other rogue governments. We're all afraid of rogue governments. What if ISIS can start hacking into people's phones thanks to this backdoor that the government creates? Do we really want that? Do we want your phone being used? Are they
going to turn our phones into suicide bombers and lithium batteries blow up in our pockets?
No, that's already happening. But but no, they may use your number or your phone coordinates to send messages.
Use your phone as a ghost mask to call somebody in your
proxy.
proxy.
You get burned for it.
You get SWAT teamed.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you got SWAT team.
Yeah. Malik Shabazz.
So if, quote, if the U.S. government dictating iPhone encryption design sounds okay to you, ask yourself how you'll feel when China demands the same, wrote Matthew Green, a cryptography professor at Johns Hopkins University in a recent tweet. Senator Ron Wyden, a Democrat from Oregon, who is pro-encryption, also expressed concerns Wednesday about the consequences of compelling Apple to cripple its own product security. Quote, thus, unprecedented reading of a nearly 230-year-old law would create a dangerous precedent that would put at risk the foundations of strong security for our people and privacy in the digital age.
What?
He said in a statement emailed to The Intercept that if, quote, if upheld, this decision could force U.S. technology companies to actually build hacking tools for government against their will. Well, I think taxes and regulation is also against their will.
That's a hack into itself.
That's a hack, right? That's a
hack into free will.
That's a government hack.
My government. My freedoms.
My will.
America.
My liberty.
While weakening cybersecurity for millions of Americans in the process, of course, the author ends Jenna McCullen over at The Intercept. Great article, Jenna.
Yep.
Do appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was well put.
So definitely a big deal. We do see, again, corporate, CEOs, figureheads, standing up against bureaucrats. I mean, we are at the age, ladies and gentlemen. We have people taking over Oregon,
Will Atlas Shrug.
Environmental reserves.
People are drawing a line.
Reserves.
People are drawing a line
being drawn.
And standing up. It's about time someone said enough is enough. I mean, when is it gonna? I mean, when the tractor, when the steamroller, when the running you over. I mean.
Splatter.
Yeah, splatter, rat-a-tat-a-tat-a.
Yeah, you're out of there.
Yeah, if the Supreme Court has to rule on it, they got one less Supreme Court justice to rule on it, so they might go the liberal way about it.
So-called liberal now.
Yeah, they're trying to render your freedoms
the
obsolete.
neo-liberal.
But then, Scalia didn't he vote in favor of a lot of Bush?
Yeah.
So he wasn't really anti.
But everything's not black and white.
Yeah, definitely. We're coming back after these messages.
Stay tuned. Truth Exposed.
just like you are. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We need to constantly change. The times they are changing, and life is about change, and hopefully you're changing for the better.
If you're not changing, you're not growing.
You're not growing. It's Truth Exposed Radio here, live every Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. on the Logos Radio Network. Do appreciate you guys tuning in. Rick Rohde here.
Cuddy Rowe.
Marshall Soul.
And we are live, transmitting from the Logos Radio Network. Definitely check out logosradionetwork.com. And
don't forget about the drawing.
Can't forget about it, guys. Right now it's a sketch. It's really a sketch right now. We need pencils, we need pens, we need colors.
Yep.
We need crayons, man. I like coloring.
Yeah, we need that oil-based, thick-ass paste.
We got some great prizes are given away here. That first prize,
the skull lower receiver,
brought to you by Central Texas Gunworks.
We cannot tell you how cool this lower receiver is.
You just gotta go to the website and look at it yourself.
Yeah.
It's nice, sleek, black.
Cooler than bat out of hell.
3D like skull. And great, like the lower receiver is, it's not just a skull etched into the receiver. The skull is a 3D. I mean, the receiver has got a 3D skull, like
it's kind of like a potato grip right in front where the safety would be at.
Right where the magazine goes in and into the gun. It is.
If you shooting over your head, you'll be looking right at the skull.
Yeah, it's radical, man. It is radical. It is bad ass.
Oh yeah.
And then of course you got that second prize, Taurus Curve, the sleek, perfect concealed carry gun.
It is designed for concealed carry.
Yeah, it's not out there. It's not a competition shooter. It's meant for self-defense.
It's not a 1911. It's not a Glock. It's not your Sig Sauer or nothing. It's a concealed carry.
I really like that crosshair feature it has on it. It doesn't have the iron sights. It has like a white line crosshair
on the back of
the back of the butt of the gun, like where the slide
there's no sights. It's very sleek. You
and the way it looks whenever you hold it up, I watched a YouTube presentation on it, and it just looks and it gives you a nice good center mass whenever you're looking.
Fits nice.
Cool. It's got a clip on it, like not a magazine clip, a clip. So like when you conceal it, it'll clip onto your belt or the inside of your pants. It's curved for your hip. It's contoured for your body. Awesome.
Definitely cool for the open carry,
concealed carry
rights that are just about to. Well, the open carry rights are about to come out, right?
Yep.
August 1st here on all campuses.
But every $25 donation gets you a chance to win either of those prizes. Let's reiterate that. Every time you throw $25 this way,
your name gets put in.
Your name gets put that hot.
Yeah.
So
not to mention the My Magic Mud that you get for every $25.
Already worth it. You might as well just go buy some. You look at it like you're buying some My Magic Mud, and then you could win a gun or a lower receiver or a vapor kit. So you can't lose, and you're helping support us. It's a win-win-win-win-win-win.
Big win.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then, of course, you can always help out the network by going on and checking out some of our sponsors and our links on the
right side of the page. The non-GMO solutions, get the storable food, shop. Shop on Amazon.
Shop on Amazon. Use us as a proxy, like Cuddy always does when he does his Christmas shopping every weekend.
Yeah, every other week. Yeah, definitely. And don't forget about the Global Healing Center. Dr. Group's got a whole bunch of, he's the one that got the oxy powder. Alex Jones and all them selling. So, and the Gold Savings Club.
Can't forget about that real gold bullion currency, the carrot bars.
Yeah, we all need to get up on that and have some real tangible, money on hand. And then don't forget about the no lawyer, no problem, how to win in court.
The Michael Myers proven method.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fight the man.
Which really, when it comes to court, I mean, nothing beats rule of law.
No, that's one of my favorite shows up on this network. Back when I was a listener, I was always tuning in to hear Randy Kelton, Deborah Stevens, and Eddie Craig.
Eddie Craig's
breaking down, various cases and giving us information and knowledge.
Step-by-step process on what to do. Open lines constantly. You get to call in with your legal questions.
Oh, yeah.
And so long as you're on time, so long as you're before the due date, you get great advice.
Well, not necessarily advice. They'll tell you what they would do if they were in your situation.
Yeah.
What? That's right. They would tell you a scenario, hypothetically, what should be done if they were in your shoes.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. And me and Marshall and I, we've taken the class.
Well, yeah, we've been down to Brave New Books and on Sundays and indulged in the rule of law class with the traffic class with Eddie Craig, and it's.
I just really like the simple way he puts it. They know kung fu and you don't even know how to throw a jab. They know boxing. They're a heavyweight contender and you're a baby in the ring. Like,
oh yeah.
So it's definitely time to admit our shortcomings and.
Well, when you get in that ring,
and
you
learn.
better learn. Yeah.
And learn.
If I lived closer to Austin, I would be over at that class a heck of a lot more, but I'm stuck in SA at the time being.
Yeah, we have to make a nice little hour, 15-minute drive or something.
Yeah, those of y'all out there in Austin, y'all really should get down to Brave New Books and check that class out on Sundays, 4 p.m.
It's a delicacy.
You know, it's a class that takes works on donation. You know, and believe me,
What's that? MLK in Guadalupe.
Yes, sir.
The information you gather there, you will willingly donate.
Underneath the Chase Bank?
Yeah, right there in front of the McDonald's, across from the Chick-fil-A.
Underneath the Chase Bank, across the UTSA. Or UT Austin, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Over here. We're over here in the San Antonio headquarters over here.
If you're in Austin, you're really cheating yourself and, selling yourself
Not
short.
checking it out.
Yeah, not checking it out. Brave New Books and everything. Go mess with them. You playing.
Yeah, and out of Brave New Books, I mean, great shows. There's actually 2 shows on this great lineup of shows. Crypto show. Yeah, right after us.
Last time I was over at Brave New
Wednesdays,
Books, they had
Sunday.
Jim Mars is over there.
Oh, Jim Mars, great author. Yeah, great researcher.
Always.
I got to
and Brave New Radio on Saturdays, 11 to 2.
John Bush and Leland.
Liam Freeman, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And Homegirl, yep.
I got Jim Mars to sing the blues. I was jamming the guitar on their Halloween.
Dude, that was awesome. I was there.
That's why someone recorded that. I was like, oh my God, I got Jim Mars singing.
It was just like one of those moments you just.
Even I was like awestruck. I'm sitting there.
Jim Mars was like freestyling a blues song while Marshall's playing the guitar. I was like, dude, this is crazy.
Lovely. I wish I could have been there for that one.
It's awesome. But yeah,
Very cool,
you never
very
know
cool.
who you're going to see down there.
That's true, guys. And, we've had to extend this, unfortunately. I mean, it does feel odd having to ask people for help because we're those kind of people that like doing things on our own.
Yeah.
We're just those
I like
kind
to go
of
out
people.
and get it on my own.
Yeah, this is not a transmission that's subsidized or patented or stimulated by any Keynesian
economic reasons and fallacies.
Yeah, totally. No, this is grassroots.
We're not the top 5 corporations that run your media.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a grassroots. This is a really community effort, which is why we love keeping lines open. 512-646-1984, by the way. And I know a lot of the shows love doing that as well.
But y'all keep sleeping on this gun drawing. I'm going to get in on this, man. I just didn't want to, be one of the guys who's over here on the radio show and then I win, something from it just seemed like that's messed up, man.
I know. I was wondering myself. I was like, can I get in on that pot and, be eligible to win?
Yeah, right. But it does get to continue the great transmission of shows, guys. So again, we do ask y'all if y'all would like to be part of the family, really put your money where your mouth is at, and help this transmission to keep blaring the airwaves and keep fighting tyranny out there, because that's what we're doing. We
got to liberate them airwaves.
Yep,
we do. We really do. And just to clarify here, this isn't for the radio producers. This isn't for any of the shows that you listen to.
None of us get paid here.
This is strictly to keep the transmission going. That's it. There's costs when it comes to keeping a tower going. There's costs when keeping a show going, keeping servers going.
Everyone behind the scenes.
Electricity. It costs electricity to keep stuff blaring, keep stuff pumping. So
equipment.
Oh yeah.
Time out of your busy schedule when you work and you got to go at it.
Definitely.
Y'all already know.
Y'all already know. We do encourage y'all to be part of the team, and we do thank y'all for whoever has come along and joined up.
Yeah, definitely.
Do appreciate it because it is a community effort, and just love y'all coming along for it, family. Again, it really doesn't matter whatever you can give, spiritually, emotionally, financially, whatever you can give. We really do appreciate it. So, moving on, guys, about this Apple situation. If you guys check out TheVerge.com, they got a great article here, basically where this may lead to Congress, no longer just a judge ruling on such a matter, but we got Congress legislating laws now in favor of, creating these back doors into Apple phones. So this is definitely going to get bigger than before it cools down. And it should be interesting to see where all this goes. So definitely keep your eyes open when it comes to Apple and all that.
It's like, Congress wants to do something now. And they've been like ceremonial in the past. Like, they've been laying down. I forgot there was even a Congress.
Yeah, why don't they go to Obama and get an executive order?
Yeah, no kidding.
Why do you need Congress?
Yeah, I'm like, Congress going to do something.
Why doesn't President Obama make his presidential dictatorship decree or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And don't get me wrong, if there was a Republican in there, he'd be doing the same thing.
Yes, sir.
It ain't about right and left.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a matter of time. Doesn't that seem like something more like the Republican presidency will finish off, is the breaking of the encryption? Because that's a liberal idea, the idea that you should be able to be private in your own affairs.
Yeah.
That's a very liberal idea there, gentlemen.
Well, classical liberal.
The state needs to know everything, national security purposes.
Yeah, you need to give up your freedom for your safety. Give up your freedom for your safety.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we know how that goes.
Yeah, we smell this one out. So the Pope, switching, jumping topics here.
He's been eating his boogers.
He's been apparently, not to get off the DeLorean with it and jumping over here to Cuba and Mexico.
He's been eating his boogers, man.
But apparently he's been eating mocos,
Mocos.
Los mocos.
Mocos. Yeah, man.
Eating his mocos, man.
Yeah, man. That's messed up.
Yeah,
bro.
there's footage on YouTube. Pope Francisco eating booger. Definitely check it out. I mean, he's waving to the people. This isn't like a hidden camera in the bathroom, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is like he's waving to people, kissing the baby, practically.
I bless this booger.
And then clearly, I mean, if he does that in public with cameras, the whole world before his eyes, it makes you wonder what he does behind closed doors.
Yeah, that's look, that is disgusting, and that is exactly what I thought. What is he doing behind? He's gonna eat his boogers, bro. What is he doing behind closed doors? He's gonna eat his boogers right in front of you.
But the question is, did he bless it first?
You don't need to. It's already blessed. It's a Pope's booger. It's a Pope's booger. It's already blessed. Yeah, it came out of the holy, the most holy, the Holy Father, Holy Father booger,
Oh man,
whatever.
Holy mocos.
The holy mocos. I mean, shoot, if that would have, he couldn't afford to throw it on the ground or put it in a napkin because then you'd have millions of people worshiping the napkin or worshiping the ground with the booger fell on.
You flick at the crowd, it's like, oh look, the puppy got a back on me.
Somebody would like try to put the booger on eBay.
Yeah, for millions.
I can see Christ in the booger. Is that the Virgin Mary in the booger?
I guess pretty hardcore. And of course, he almost fell. There's footage of that as well. He almost fell and started yelling at people.
Yeah, he didn't look happy.
Saying, don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. So, hey, there's enough hope to go around. Don't take...
Now.
This is the Logos Radio Network.
Thank you for tuning in. This is Truth Exposed. We are back. This is February 17, 2016. We're live here every Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. I'm one of your hosts, Cuddy Rowe.
Marshall Soul.
We're Rick Rowdy.
And we were just talking about El Papi.
Yeah, who'd have thought he'd just, openly do that? Just, you got the world watching you. Like,
he pick his nose and he eat it too.
Maybe he's just trying to, look out for those that actually do it. Kind of like Adam Sandler in that movie, Billy Madison, he peed himself for the other kids, so it wouldn't feel so bad.
There you go. See, that's what it is. He's so loving. He wants to relate with those that happen to eat stuff that comes off their body.
Yeah, that was like Trump when he waited over there with Ben Carson, and when Ben Carson had been called out, he was waiting there and like a little slow kid, and then Trump came out there and waited with him like, I'm going to wait with the slow kid. So he doesn't look so slow.
You talk about that one Republican debate out of the menu where Donald Trump just walked out like he was about to take out Ben Carson.
Well, they called Ben Carson's name and he's supposed to walk out, and he walks halfway out and he doesn't come out of the tunnel, and he stays waiting there like they didn't call his name, and he lets four other candidates come out, and then they call Trump.
Jeb Bush pats Trump on the back afterwards.
Yeah, while Trump's waiting there with Carson.
Yeah.
I was like, what are they going to do? Come out like guns blazing
yippee-ki-yay.
I was waiting, man.
They're forming their own faction.
But yeah, man, it's I don't know, man. It's just crazy. The Pope eating his boogers. I mean,
almost falling, yelling at the crowd. There's another footage of that where he gets pulled down by some people adoring him here in Mexico where he's doing his travels.
And then he gets mad.
He gets mad.
Selfish.
You're being
There's enough
selfish.
puppy to go around.
Starts yelling at the crowd. So definitely look that one up as well. I mean,
that wasn't very godly,
Not to mention just listening to his speeches. I mean, he gave multiple masses, multiple homilies, which you would call homilies or preachings or whatever. Gave multiple, discourses in front of political affiliates and political diplomats and whatnot in Mexico. So listening to those would be even more, revealing into what the agenda is. And it seems like those things aren't talked about in the media. Those things aren't analyzed by people. Those things.
Oh, they're untouchable.
Everyone's focused on whether there's going to be a third temple or not. What's happening in Israel. They're not focused on what the little horn's doing.
There's so much going on the world stage. It's hard to keep track of everything, and I believe they're utilizing that to just to bring it to fruition.
They like Dick Cheney said, we're going to be the creators of history, and all you're going to do is be able to sit back and study it.
All you're going to be able to do is react to it.
We're just here to be like, oh, they did this, and oh, they did that, and oh, they did this, and oh, they did. I mean, they're just like you said, your head's spinning. You're
still looking at what happened last week. All the while, two more things take place. The news hasn't even touched yet. You don't even know about it.
Yeah. And, well, the mainstream news you always notice too is like 3 or 4 days late on everything.
Yeah, and
we're
there's
up to
many
speed
times
on.
they're forced to cover something because the alternative
enough
media.
people are
Judge
aware of
somebody,
it.
yeah,
Enough people are aware of
What's
it. Yeah,
even,
that's very
what's
true.
even more sad is whenever local news does a better job than the mainstream news, and local news reminds me of like 6th grade news that you see on the TV.
Kindergarten.
Yeah. You know, and to really wrap up this whole Pope visit, you know, going beyond the hype of the moko eating and the holy moko.
Yeah, we just had to have fun. It was funny.
And the tackles and him being brought down. Yeah, those are pretty funny scenarios. But you know what isn't funny? What isn't funny is him going there and speaking against the violence caused by drug trafficking and the cartels, all the while supporting the war on drugs.
Yeah, it's
asinine. It's contradictory. It's illogical to do so.
That's how government and the rest of these bureaucrats and all these. I mean, they're all socialism, commies. They're all trying to save us from the things that they create. You know, it's
problem, reaction, solution.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous because we all know that obviously, I mean, it's a logical conclusion to say that if drugs were decriminalized in Mexico, then cartels would have little to no profit incentive. I mean, sure, there may be drugs still illegally sold, just like there is in Colorado and Washington, but there's also legal drugs to buy. So people aren't going to subject themselves to that amount of risk and that amount of danger.
If I'm not mistaken, were they not just recently loosening up on marijuana laws in Mexico? I heard it was hurting.
Well, Mexico City in particular.
Okay.
Just the district of the federal district.
I
of
heard
Mexico.
it hurt the cartels somewhat.
Oh yeah.
Just goes to show you. It's
decriminalization, legalization,
and it's also decentralization because
it really is.
Because now everyone is allowed to
grow what they want, ingest what they want,
instead
trade
of
what they
people who
want.
have amassed enough power to fight off, the cartels. I mean, they're basically police states in themselves. I mean, the governments in Mexico can't. I mean, they're like,
yeah, exactly. The cartel took it over a lot.
Yeah, the government is the cartel. The cartel is the government. So same here with the United States. The real drug runners in this country are working are in the government.
Yeah, mafia took over a while back.
Well, there's a reason. It's illegal.
Yeah,
it's a continuous cycle of endless work. It's job security. Fight a war that can't be won. You'll be there forever. That's what you call job security. When your job is always going to be demanded.
It's the firefighter who goes around and sets all the fires because there's no fires to be fought.
It really is. It's a fireman agency that fights against fire resistant building codes because they don't want to lose their jobs. They took my job? Technology took my jobs.
Yep.
Took our jobs.
Yep.
So interesting here. This is another situation that's arising. Apparently, a man was arrested by U.S. Marshals for an unpaid $1,500 in student loans.
So, what are there debtor prisons now?
Yeah, I'm waiting for like my sister and like my little brother.
Yeah, apparently
these people with debt loans get arrested. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, right.
You're a criminal now.
Apparently, this dude Paul Aker had a loan for $1,500 since 1987 that he had borrowed for 29 years. $1,500.
$1,500.
And he wasn't able to pay it back.
Man, I know people with $30,000 and $20,000 out there.
Yeah, so he got arrested for that. So that doesn't really look too
$1,500. That's weak.
Look too hopeful for the rest of us, does it?
Yeah, if you got $30,000 and $20,000 and $15,000 in the hole, you're in trouble.
Yeah, apparently this guy's Paul Acker's defense or his excuse was that he was unaware of the outstanding debt and he had paid 2 other student loans and thought that he had consolidated everything already and paid it all off.
That's so minuscule, and the debt bubble is so huge. You'd think they'd go after people who have debts, getting into Harvard and whatnot,
or tax evasion like Al Sharpton.
Well,
oh no.
In the end, debts aren't a what you would call a legal matter. They're a civil matter. When you can't pay off your debt to a bank, you go bankrupt. You go you turn over.
They seize your assets or you go bankrupt. You have to keep everything.
Well,
So either they seize your assets or you declare bankruptcy and then you get to keep everything.
Yeah.
True.
Trying to save what assets you got.
Yeah, there are some laws there that kind of do protect, and they do seem kind of socialistic laws. They do protect in a lot of ways. We seem like we protect the loaner. I'm sorry, the loanee.
Most lawyers,
the loanee more than the loaner.
Most lawyers will tell you if you're going to declare bankruptcy, they'll tell you to run up all your credit cards, go get all this debt built up so that you can just declare bankruptcy and keep it.
That's messed up. That's messed up.
Yeah, true.
And a lot of people do that, take advantage of the legal matters of
How
it
many
all.
times did Trump declare bankruptcy?
4 times.
Yeah, right.
Full-time bankruptcy champion.
Oh, yeah.
How many times the United States declared bankruptcy?
0?
No, I believe it was once. I know in the 30s, but possibly
maybe something around there, right?
Ron Paul's talked about it.
32, 33?
Entertained it.
It could probably happen even sooner, too.
Oh, well, definitely. It's going to have to happen
What's a dollar crash?
It's going to be a scapegoat for just the crash. Like instead of it crashing, they'll just be like, "Oh, we're going to do this." And
We
it's
can't
the same
pay
thing.
off our debt.
Yeah, it's going to be the same thing.
It's a snake eating its own tail to survive.
Yep.
And that's really really the crux of it, ladies and gentlemen, that we're trying to get y'all to understand. I mean, with this case, with this Paul Acker gentleman here, how much money did the government spend in U.S. Marshal servicemen going to retrieve him and going to go, bust down his door and get him?
I'm sure they've taxed him $1,500 from whatever he learned towards going to school for that student loan. I'm sure they got their $1,500 out of the taxes for whatever he traded.
And not only that, but it's a civil matter. It's just like isn't it just like transportation codes? Like, is the police allowed to bust down your door for transportation code violations? I mean, are those civil? Are those yeah, exactly? Are those
Are you too clean for your own good? According to new research, being too conscientious about dirt and germs could actually make you sick. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and I'll be back with some antibacterial products you might want to avoid.
Privacy is under attack. When you give up data about yourself, you'll never get it back again. And once your privacy is gone, you'll find your freedoms will start to vanish too. So protect your rights, say no to surveillance, and keep your information to yourself. Privacy, it's worth hanging on to. This public service announcement is brought to you by StartPage.com, the private search engine alternative to Google, Yahoo, and Bing. Start over with StartPage.
A University of Michigan study suggests that antibacterial soaps and hand sanitizers could make your family sick. Many contain the chemical triclosan, an antimicrobial. Young people with higher levels of triclosan in their systems are more likely to be diagnosed with allergies and hay fever. Scientists believe the chemical may interfere with the body's immune system by mimicking or affecting human hormones. Triclosan may also prevent kids from dealing with everyday germs, so they don't develop a natural immunity to them. So if you want a healthy clean, skip the antibacterial products and wash up with good old-fashioned soap and water. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht. More news and information at CatherineAlbrecht.com.
Chemtrails.
You're listening to the Logos Radio Network at logosradionetwork.com.
Back, ladies and gentlemen, Truth Exposed Radio right here on the Logos Radio Network. And it's February 17th, 2016. And I believe y'all's anniversary is coming up too, isn't it?
Yours too. But yeah, me and Rick and I.
Well, you and Rick, and then
been holding it down since Matthew put us on since
what was that? February 19th, 2014. Yeah, it's been 2 years, ladies and gentlemen.
I forgot to bring y'all a cake, man. I was gonna bring y'all a cake, put some candles and stuff.
We'll have one next episode.
Yeah, hopefully we got a new intro. Hopefully we got new music to flavor it up.
Yeah, we're gonna spice it up, man. We've been slacking on the pimping. Definitely. We ain't talking. I'm gonna cut the talking. You'll just see.
Be hearing.
Let it be shown. Let it be shown.
Let it be known.
Let it be known.
The truth shall be known.
So what? Are we still on this other case with the man arrested over his $1,500?
Yeah, apparently the the interest had brought it up to $5,700.
Wow, $5,700. There's people with $30,000 out there and stuff, and $50,000. What? A $5,000, $5,700?
That's just the rate of interest. $1,500 back in 1989.
Just take it out of my Social Security.
It was worth $5,700. Yeah, right.
And 57, that's inflated. The money back then, like, if he had the old money.
So
money from 1980. Can I pay $5 more?
Yeah, right. He swore that he'd make installments of $200 immediately. And
I would have told him, I'll give you $10,000 on my Social Security.
Yeah, right.
Out of my Social Security.
Yeah.
You already, you already have that.
So yeah, I mean it's just and not only this, but this is there's roughly around 43.3 million Americans that are that have still student loans.
Yeah, well, let's apply that times
roughly
30.
$1.3 trillion.
And that's predicted to be the next bubble to pop as a student loan.
It really is.
Along with the house flipping bubble.
And I had heard they were going to do this arresting stuff a while back.
A couple years ago. 11%. I mean, 10%.
Oh yeah, wasn't the Department of Education buying hollow points and shotguns and all that?
They're going to collect.
What does the Department of Education need with guns?
They're going to come collect their student loans, bruh.
We don't educate you on how to pay your dues.
They're going to lead-educate you with lead.
Educate you.
Yeah.
and it really, I mean, all this really shows how government can't create the free sandwich. As much as government promises the free sandwich, the
Well,
free
it
sandwich
can,
is,
but it might not be a good sandwich.
It's an illusion. It's an illusion.
Air
Well,
sandwich.
nonetheless, they don't create it. They don't create anything.
You never had mud pie?
Even the point being that the state employees themselves and the state apparatus itself needs to benefit from the free market. They don't want to live in abject poverty. In order to do so, they need to allow a free market to exist.
Yeah, they leave just enough for them to suck off of.
The fact that the free market exists means that things are being produced, but nonetheless, that money, even though it's being printed and inflated like crazy, still has a value in a free market society in the sense that it buys actual products and actual goods. So it makes sense that they would want to collect on the revenue because in the end, they do want to collect on goods. They can't just print their way into prosperity. They know that. It requires people actually working in order to produce things. So in order to get that from people that are producing, well, let's refrain from printing and let's actually just increase the money that we own, we have within the system.
So let me get this straight. The student debt total is about 1.3 trillion.
Yeah, and 11% of those.
How many trillions are we in debt here? As not we, but as a nation.
18, right? 17, 18.
It's probably getting higher
17,
up there
18, 19,
now.
somewhere around there.
It's probably by 19. But
Yeah, 18, 19
I know it was
trillion.
18 last time I checked.
What do you do to rack up that kind of debt? Interest?
Print.
Military industrial complex.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
4 trillion a year.
Subsidies, you know.
Don't forget, we got
dropping money.
We got
in
half the
terrorists.
world tied into this.
Oh yeah,
we got half the world tied into this too.
So I'm sure if you're a conservative and you're listening to this, you're thinking, okay, well, it's good that the marshals busted down the doors and got this guy to want to pay back his debt. But the question we would have to ask ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, is how much money did the state invest
on the marshals
to get the guy?
$1,500.
How much are they gonna invest on the court process of the judges and the district attorneys and the
They
lawyers?
end up with zero after that.
But they may end up with zero. That is true, Cud. But guess what? You just justified the paycheck for a couple of jobs, for a couple of days, for the lawyers, for the judges, for the bureaucrats, for the police officers, for the marshals.
Hey, we produce. That's government production. That's government production.
There you go.
That's government production.
They got to expand. And this is why we're starting to see U.S. Marshals collecting on what should be civil matters and not actual legal matters because they're having to expand the revenue that they get.
Yeah, and then also like why are they even going about doing it that way? They should have to go about doing a civil matter, and it just blows my mind that they can have grants and give students free money to go to school, but yet they're going to call somebody out on $1,500.
There's a lot bigger debts. It's like setting the precedent.
Grants to foreigners coming in.
We're going to go after some bait. Like, is this even real? I mean, this is such small of amount of money. Like, are you serious?
How much did the operation cost?
More than that.
And I'm
it
pretty
costs
sure
more than that for the website and the people to report on the story. Like, what? And
I'm pretty sure in civil matters where you don't pay your debt, that affects your credit. I'm pretty sure when you don't pay off your debt or pay off civil tickets when it comes to traffic tickets and all that affects your credit. If you refuse, they can't throw you in jail over it. It's a civil matter, but your credit's going to get shot. Your credit's going to get shot.
Debtor prison.
Debtor prison is illegal, right? Technically,
but you're still in existence.
Now they can garnish your wages. They can collect on your tax return.
You can go sit in jail for the money.
Yeah, right. There's always that one, right? Have the taxpayer pay you to sit in jail, but regardless, it's really disturbing to see marshals being used to collect on civil matters and not on legal matters that actually pertain to laws being broken.
It's setting a precedent.
Yeah, it really is. It has nothing to pertain with common law or the obstruction of justice or anything.
It's that old totalitarian tiptoe. Once we accept this and it's setting the precedent, and they can start there and they can start raking up the leaves from there, and then they can set up another precedent.
So think about student loans, right? You go to their elementary schools or middle schools,
read that fine print.
Their high schools. You go to all their schools. They tell you better go into a good college. You get accepted to a good college. You think you're all that, but guess what? They're signing you off to
get into prison quick scheme.
$100,000 debt.
Yeah,
there you go. Hey. You're better off buying a house.
But and then they can make you they can put you in jail and make you a slave.
Don't pay up. You make Burger King ain't making enough.
Make some license.
We got bondage for you.
You make enough of Burger King. Manager at Burger King,
you can go into bondage.
All right, go into bondage, boy. And we ain't talking about 50 Shades of Grey.
And the meat subsidized.
No. You wish it was 50 Shades of Grey
compared to what you're going to be getting.
50 Shades of Gay.
50 Shades of Red.
Yeah.
50 Shades of State.
Blood in, blood out, Miklo. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Exit wounds.
Yeah, man. It's not looking too pretty. Future not looking too bright.
No, like Orwell said, if you want to vision the future, imagine someone stomping on a head forever.
Yeah, the
human stomping on a human's head forever.
Human face forever. Yeah.
So to wrap up this whole debt thing, ladies and gentlemen, I really want to emphasize how the state constantly has to expand its criminal base, to expand the people that it considers criminal, that it's willing to go after. Because why? Well, in the end, it justifies the jobs for all these people that are collecting people and taking them away. And
pretty soon, they'll just be the people who are in government and the people who are in jail.
That's it, right? And you're going to be forced to work because they still need steaks. They still need food. They still need shelter. They still need, they still need everything, right? You still need material goods. I mean, this is something that can't be avoided. We need workers. We need capitalists. We need investors.
But like Eisenhower said, if you want to be safe and you want to have everything brought for you and all that, you go to prison.
Yeah, you'll be safe in there, right? With no freedom.
It's funny. Eisenhower was like a hardcore socialist.
Yeah, but a broke clock's right. Twice a day.
Mm-hmm. True.
I mean,
rhetoric is seems to come easy with politicians, whereas actions.
Sometimes these liars slip up and tell the truth.
The actions tend to lag.
They can make good points and bring up relevant things, just like Reagan did. But Reagan, of course, everybody knows Bush was running Reagan after he got shot.
Yeah, it's just chatter.
Shams, ShamWow.
For itchy ears, right? Good, nice words for itchy ears.
Easy.
That's right. We are all we have. You were back live with Truth Exposed Radio. Live here every Wednesday. We've just been breaking down some current news, some current headlines.
And then with the casualties there.
Man, that's hardcore, real deal.
That's some circle pit stuff right there.
Yeah, I was finna bite the mic.
All right. Too bad they're commies.
Yeah, I know. It's,
Hey, they're commies, but they sell t-shirts and CDs, bro.
It's funny.
Give me your shirts.
Online, bro.
Oh, Immortal Technique, though.
Busting down stands. Y'all heard about that one, right?
Yeah.
Y'all heard about that one. I'm sure you listeners heard about that one. Come on now.
Yeah.
I forget which show it was, what city it was, but apparently somebody was selling some unauthorized Immortal Technique paraphernalia and shirts and
I got the copyright on that.
Yeah. And apparently Technique sent him and his crew and his boys.
Busted up some people making money. He was creating jobs and he
aligned some chakras.
He was creating jobs and then he was like, I don't like creating jobs.
No jobs for you.
Yeah. No free jobs. You have to pay me to have a job. Sound like government over there.
He wants his royalties.
Yeah.
And it's funny. That's what I find most interesting. It's funny how communists will deny to the death private property, but they'll defend intellectual property. You don't have a right.
Inconsistent.
You don't have a right.
Private property.
Yeah. Well, it's not.
It's not.
It's not. They defend.
It's a public domain.
They disregard actual property in favor of intellectual property, ideas in favor of concepts.
I was just thinking of if your own intellectual property.
Your intellectual property is your intellect, your thoughts, your ideas. So
you build something, someone can reverse engineer it.
I just gave away, some intellectual property earlier when we were talking about the iPhone thing. I mean, someone could go and create a phone that's just for the parents and the kids.
There you go.
Boom.
There you go.
I'm not over there. Oh, give me copyright.
Trying to patent it.
Dude, take it, go run with it and go make some money and someone else go do the same thing and compete with each other.
And it works faster that way versus you having a 5-year patent.
I'm the only one. I'm the only one that can do it.
Because
for 10,
the open
15
market,
years.
Playing with it, they can better hone the product and they provide better features and options.
Exactly. And reverse engineering isn't wrong. Right? If someone puts something out there and you recreate it in some way and make it better, how is that?
It's like
how is that stealing from them?
Like Miss
They still have it.
They still have their idea. They still have their product, their material, their means of production.
Yeah, it's like how Miss Pac-Man came about because some guys had hacked in and took the old Pac-Man and made it better. And instead of
put some boobs on it.
They made some kind of monkey ears. They just put Pac-Man with legs and changed it a little bit better.
Put a little
evolution.
But instead of the company going and suing the kids, they paid them off and they just ran with it and made Miss Pac-Man. Because originally it was a Pac-Man.
Hey, well,
nice. Nice.
Yeah, right. You can't beat them, join them. It's the free market. It's the way it's supposed to be.
Little shout out there to Matt with his Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah, that's funny though.
So that's the problem we see with a lot of these things, whether it's
and while we're on the intellectual property, that's the only way that your ideas can be stolen is through patents. Because say I have an idea, the only way to stop me from producing it is someone else did it and then went and gotten patent.
Right.
And then now my idea can't
Okay. I see what you're saying. Say you independently come to the same idea,
Yeah.
and someone else happens to have a patent on it anyway.
And now,
but you came to it independently. You came to it by your own, your own test and trial and your own, failure and success, and you came to it.
Well,
and then now you're
now I can't do
it's
it.
taken away.
And then even then, I mean, someone could actually say I didn't get the patent, and I did create it first. Someone reverse engineered me, and then went and got the patent.
Well, yeah, there you
That
go.
or somebody
there you
gets
go.
the
There you go. You wanted to open to the public. You wanted it open to everybody.
Yeah.
And they happened to patent what you made.
And now it's just
now it's closed off to the public.
Well, they patented, they sit on it and don't allow it to go out to the public because they own the rights to that patent.
Yeah. Open. Yeah, right. You make something open source, and someone tries to patent it.
Mm-hmm.
So that it can't
Major
be put out on
problem.
the market.
Major problem.
Definitely.
So many problems when it comes to all this stuff, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the opposite of what you think. I mean, you think you're protecting your ideas from being stolen, but actually, ideas, that's the way they can be stolen.
And how do we come to this point? Well, the point being that communists, it's funny how communists will fight private property, till to death. A lot of them, till death do them part.
Private property, Rick, is the way they keep people down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
They look at private property like
as the oppression itself, materialized.
I literally saw
evil materialized.
Private property is oppression.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, what?
Private property is theft or something of the sort. Yeah, oppression, theft.
Blown away. People could just jump to those conclusions.
Those are harsh. Those are harsh. What are you trying to say here?
Wow, I don't know.
It's actually the opposite.
They've been watching too much Idiocracy or something.
It's actually the opposite because if you don't have private property, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this straight here. We wouldn't have the right to transmit this radio show right now. We wouldn't, because it's thanks to Logos, private property of Logos, that they got to choose the radio shows that wanted to be on the transmission.
Yeah.
Quite simply put, if this private property has to be made public, well, then guess what? There needs to be some kind of a vote and some kind of a committee to determine a consensus to come to determine which shows are going to be put on and which shows aren't.
That's
it's
the
not
private
up to
property of the antenna, the private property that antenna sits on.
Oh yeah.
Of course. That's what we're saying. That's the difference. That's the difference. That's the difference. That's the difference. Is that I mean,
it's tangible.
Yeah. I mean, do you want people to be able to and then of course commies make the difference between personal property and private property, where they try to say, well, if it's your house or if it's your underwear or your clothes and you use it personally, well, that's your personal property versus your private property, which is more like the means of production, land, rent, technology that creates other things that you give out and sell and that you rent out or whatever.
Nothing's stopping them from being able to create their own.
They do make a slight distinction there, but at the same time, yeah, exactly right there, Cuddy, is that at what point do you determine a means of production from not a means of production?
You got to take it from somebody else. You can't get it on your own or create your own. You got to stop someone else from being able to do it, and you got to.
And if you have a bike, simple as a bike, you may use it for personal property. You may use it for personal property, but what if you start using that bike to deliver sandwiches, newspapers, deliver medication? Oh, now it becomes a means of production, doesn't it?
I turn it upside down and do like this, and I use it for a saw.
There you go. Yeah. And those saws, you cut wood to make bookshelves that you sell. Yeah. That's a means of production right there, bro. That's a tool, a piece of property that creates wealth for you. And according to the communists, should not be owned by you, even though you created it, because it's
my bicycle too, Cuddy.
Yeah, it's our bicycle.
I feel like
that's a tricycle. Then if it's between the three of us,
I want to convert it into a power.
It was a unicycle when I owned it.
That's not your wife, man.
You must share.
Oh, that's it. There we go. Hey,
right? Hey, forced association. Right? You can't have exclusive teams here. You can't have exclusive associations.
Everybody needs to reproduce.
Right? You gotta share.
There's not going to be no humans.
You got to share.
It means of production, bro.
Sharing is caring, right?
Women are means of production.
The baby factory.
You gonna loose the Pandora's box, ain't you? You gonna loose it.
Oh man,
commies are coming after all the women.
Ooh, yes they are.
All means of reproduction.
The
means of reproduction, man.
The baby factory. Yeah, exactly. Wow, that's hardcore.
They're engaged in commerce by popping out more consumers.
Man.
Oh man.
Don't follow them to their full conclusion.
And that's what the state does though. That's what the state is. The fact that they own our fingerprints, the fact that they own our blood, the fact that they
took it at birth.
Catalog us. Yes, catalog us into citizen what do you call it? Social security numbers.
Databases. Yeah.
Sell
us on the market. Yeah. We're human resources.
We are human resources, ladies and gentlemen. No different than cattle to be distributed amongst farmers and ranchers.
Hence human resources when they come and get you fired at your work.
Hence propaganda, PR, public relations.
Now, don't you feel like a butterfly on some styrofoam with a needle in your wings?
I didn't say needle somewhere else. But
yeah, right.
Wow. That's when you go to the doctor. Yeah. You can't.
I think the FCC let us say that one.
But yeah, it's ridiculous what we've come to, ladies and gentlemen. It really is ridiculous. And as people that believe in truth, as people that believe in logic, as people that believe in the market, it is privy of us. It is very, important of us to articulate these ideas to others. We need to get evangelical with it. We need to get annoying about it. You know, why would you, if other people are annoying about dumbassery and things that don't matter.
Yeah, let's get
annoying.
vocal, yeah.
Let's get vocal and get annoying about the things that do.
Let's get megaphone with it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I heard there's a Bernie Sanders little thing going down here. I think we're gonna have to megaphone the hell out of them suckers on Saturday.
Yeah, and hey, and this doesn't mean that you have to be a know-it-all, right? I mean, bring opposition, bring the truth to people. When someone brings a question to you that you can't fully answer, don't be afraid to tell them, hey, you know what? Give me a couple days. Let me do some research. Do your thorough research and give them a thorough answer. Do your part. We need that. This isn't, I mean, we can't repeat it enough. This isn't a top-down effort. This isn't a grassroots. And this has to be a grassroots effort. This has to be a community effort. This has to be an individual effort. Can't get it done if it's just, a couple of us doing it.
Definitely not. But, maybe we can go out there maybe Saturday and turn some, Bernie Sanders supporters onto some logic, and once they see that we're not from the right, and we get them all confused with some logic.
And then we're actually from the true left.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to be
true
like,
liberal.
left? They're going to be like, left? Y'all are left? Excuse me?
We're so leftist, we make y'all look like rightists.
Oh, they're going to learn real quick.
Yeah.
Occupy looking ass.
Moving on over.
Yeah.
Moving on over.
To the left side.
Yeah.
Gonna separate them socialists from you and I.
Hold up, man.
Separate the state from religion.
Now, did he copyright on this?
Don't do that, Rick.
From everything too.
All right.
Including what you're producing.
Coming live. We'll be back with y'all next Wednesday. As usual, 6 to 8 p.m.
6 to 8 p.m. Yeah.
Same truth time, same truth channel.
That's right.
Logos Radio Network. We do have a crypto show coming up next. This was Truth Exposed Radio. Rick Rody.
Cut it, bro.
Partial Soul.
Do appreciate you guys coming along. Check out logosradionetwork.com. Stay tuned.
Peace, love, anarchy.
Stay fair.